Hey, Magic fans, welcome back. This is your captain speaking here on Capnclydes MTG. Today, we're going to look into murders at Karlov Manor, along with all the stuff coming out with it, including the Ravnica Clue Edition, which, boy, we got some stuff to talk about. Don't forget, comment, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Check out the links in the description to help support the channel. The best way to do it for free, though, is just subscribe for free, like us on Rumble, all that good stuff, and check us out everywhere else. Don't forget, buy some cards in the store that does support the channel, plus give you those sweet magic cards you're looking for. So, oh yes. So, Murders at Karlov Manor is the next set to come out, a murder mystery, and in anticipation of that, they have Wizards has got with Clue to make a Clue edition of Ravnica. Um, so very interesting there. But with all that said, let's take a look at everything all at once. We'll start with some key dates. So the remaining story episodes, January 8th to the 18th, debut and previews begin on Magic the Gathering Weekly on the 16th of January. Commander deck previews will be on the 24th of January. Card images and previews will be complete on the 26th. Arena streamer event February 1st. Pre-release your local game store will be February 2nd to 8th. MTG Arena release will be the 6th. Global tabletop launch will be the 9th of February. WP in-store open house will be 9 through 11 of Feb. Friday Night Magic will be February 9th to March 29th. Standard Showdown February 9th to April 4th. Commander Night will be February 16th to 18th. MagicCon Chicago and Pro Tour for Karlov Mana will be February 23rd to 25th. The Clue edition of Ravnica will have a launch party 23rd to the 25th, the exact same time as the Pro Tour. Probably going to be a launch at the Pro Tour plus local stores. Probably going to be a lot of that going around. WMP Store Championship March 2nd through the 10th. So, all that said, let's take a look at the products. Here's what we got. We have the Play Booster. We have your pre-release box. We have the bundles. We have collector editions and 4 commander decks. So those commander decks are going to be Deadly Disguise, which is red, green, white. Right here, we have Revenant Recon, black, blue. We then have Deep Clue C, blue, green, white. And then Blame Game, red, white. So, interesting. My first thoughts without seeing the decks. Previous commander decks have been rather good, only because they've been doing 2 of them, not 4. I have a feeling this is going to be a either high dollar or low power commander set release, but we'll see if I'm right or not. So we got some card previews as well that came out. We have Alquist Proft, the Master Sleuth, a blue, white, and 1 for a 3/3 with Vigilance. Whenever he enters the battlefield, you get to investigate, and for a 2 blue, white, and X, you can sacrifice a clue and draw X cards and gain X life. So basically, every clue token is the blue draw spell, and I forget what it's called now. Dang it, I just played against it today too. But anyway, um, I mean, it's a mythic. Is it going to be good? Yeah, probably. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be powerful. Commander's going to like this card. There might be some standard play, maybe, but that's probably about as far as it's going to go. It's way too mana intensive. But definitely Commander All-Star. Next we have Rakdos, the Patron of Chaos, black, red, 4 colorless for a 6/6 flying trample. Not like the old Flamplers. At the beginning of your end step, target opponent may sacrifice 2 non-land, non-token permanents. If they don't, you draw 2 cards. Okay, not like a 6/6 lets you draw 2 cards every turn. At worst, I mean, Jesus, this thing's going to be powerful. Might be good in standard if it's a way to sneak it on the battlefield or get it out there in a reasonable amount of time, maybe a little early. Great for commander because it does say target opponent, so you can just target the opponent who can't pay and draw 2 cards. So this is going to be pretty powerful. We have Aurelia's back, the Law Above, white, red, and 3 for a 4/4 flying vigilance haste because she's just too good for trample, I guess. Anyway, whenever a player attacks with 3 or more creatures, you draw a card. Whenever a player attacks with 5 or more creatures, Aurelia, the Law Above, deals 3 damage to each of your opponents, and you gain 3 life. So, Yeah, I'm pretty sure both these will trigger because if you attack with 5, it's going to trigger the one else that says 3. Could be great for Commander. I mean, nothing like bolting the entire table and gaining 3 life and then immediately signing your death warrant because nobody's going to be having this shenanigans going on. But still a powerful card, good rare. It's going to be great for some other decks. I mean, you could see standard play. 4/4 for 5 is not out of the question, and it does good things. But honestly, if you're attacking with 3 to 5 creatures and this is one of them, this really seems like a win more, and I don't think it's going to see a whole lot of play outside of maybe Commander. Next, we have, that's right, Lightning Helix is being reprinted into standard. 3 damage to any target, gain 3 life. Because this was obviously not an issue the first time, which it definitely was. Anybody who played back then. Um, the fact that you gain life and deal damage on one card is just absurd to any target. I mean, it's really just a better Bolt. This is insane, and they're really pushing red-white decks, it looks like, because this is the staple of red-white aggro, or red-white anything, honestly. American control, you name it. I think this is going to have a serious impact on the format for standard. But we'll have to wait and see. It's going to impact other formats as well, but not as much because standard is really where we're lacking in good removal that is just not Lightning Helix. Like, this is just absurd. Jesus. All right, next we have Deduce, blue and 1. Draw a card, investigate. And so it takes 2 that crack the clue. So basically it's a 4 mana, draw 2. It is an instant. It does let you separate the mana out so you can do it early and late. This is a good card. It's going to see standard play and probably lots of play in several formats just because of how cheap it can be to start and finish. So yeah, looks like a good one. Probably ain't gonna outdo any ops or anything like that though. Next we have Demand Answers. Red and 1, additional cost, sacrifice artifact or discard a card, draw 2 cards. This seems really good for a common. Nothing like sacrificing those useless artifacts and drawing 2 cards off of it when it's already in play. Also, some artifacts come into play and do their thing, and you want to sacrifice them. So yeah, I think this is going to see play in select formats where this is kind of a combo card. But definitely going to be great for limited, sealed, maybe even standard. Definitely Commander. We have Fanatical Strength, green and 1. Target creature is +1/+1, gains trample in a turn. So I guess this is where Giant Growth has finally landed. It takes 2 mana now to get 3/3. And the extra mana to get you trample, even though nobody cares about trample half the time. Probably going to be good enough for limited, about it. Novice Inspector, 1 white for a 1/2, already good. When it enters the battlefield, investigate. So, yeah, so we literally just reprinted the other white card that does the exact same thing with a different name. Like, we literally just reprinted that card and renamed it. Completely not necessary, but whatever. I forget what it was called. Thalia's something? Who knows? We got a Shock reprint, so imagine that. I mean, it's fine. It is basically what Bolt has become. So, yeah. There it is. There it is. All right, next we have 4 on this page, apparently. We have Burden of Proof, blue 1 flash, enchant creature. Enchant creature gets +2/+2 as long as it's a detective you control. Otherwise, it has base, power, and toughness 1/1 and can't block detectives. Great removal for blue and limited. It could creature removal along with pumping your own creatures. Great for limited. Curious Cadaver. Black, blue, and 2 for a 3/1 flyer. Whenever you sacrifice a clue, return Curious Cadaver from your graveyard to your hand. Best limited. Gleaming Gear Drake, red blue for a 1/1 flyer. Whenever it enters the battlefield, investigate. Whenever you sacrifice an artifact, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Oh boy. We just saw a red spell lets you sacrifice an artifact to draw cards. This is going to be the Gleaming Drake's going to be a standard combo card. Mark my words, especially when we see some more cards come out that actually power it up. Next, we have Meddling Use, white, red, and 3 for a 4/5 haste. Whenever you attack with 3 or more creatures, investigate. Is this a Scooby-Doo reference? Surely not. It better not be, because I don't like it. I mean, put a dog on the damn card. Anyway, moving on. Next, we have Benthic Criminologist, blue and 4 for a 4/5. Whenever it enters the battlefield or attacks, you may sacrifice an artifact if you do draw a card. Well, that pairs really well with the Drake, although it's 5 mana. Probably going to be a limited play combo style. Hotshot Investigators, blue and 5 for a 4/4. Whenever it enters the battlefield, return up to one other creature to its owner's hand. If you controlled it, you get to investigate. I mean, it's fine for common. Out cold, blue and 3. This spell can't be countered. Instant. Tap up to 2 target creatures and put a stun counter on each of them. Investigate. I mean, it's blue removal. It's a common. It's fine for limited. Toppler Panther, 2 green and 4 for a 6/5 with trample. Has basic land cycling. Land cycling is starting to pop up a lot. Almost going to be an evergreen mechanic again. I mean, that's great for limited. Probably about as far as it's going to go. Magnifying Glass. Pretty sure this is a reprint. 3 colorless, tap, add 1 for 4. Tap, investigate. I'm pretty sure that's the reprint. And then we have the Wojak Investigator. White and 2 for a 2/4 flying Vigi. At the beginning of your upkeep, investigate once for each opponent that has more cards in hand than you. This is going to be a really good commander card. Yeah. Is it going to be as good as, Smothering Tide or Rustic Study? Probably not. But it is a good downgrade to have extra cards like that in your deck if that's the thing you're going for. So, not a bad card at all. And then, of course, we get the buy box promo of the exact same card. Interesting. I mean, it's whatever, I guess. All right, so now let's start with Booster Fun. We have some new basic full art lands in the set called Impossible Lands. These basics offer a different view of Ravnica Cityscape than the previous sets. I'm not going to lie, I kind of like it. I kind of like how they give you the top-down view. However, the thing I don't like about the Impossible Lands is it gives you the sense that every area has a giant city, and maybe that's fine. But in Ravnica, I was kind of under the impression that Golgari guys didn't have big cities. They had like mulch dumps or some shit where they were composing the dead and making fungus or something. Anyway, what do I know? So, still fine. I mean, it's another full art land at this point. With the coolness has kind of wore off any full art lands, unless it's really something special. I mean, if this is your jam, more power to you. For me, it just seems like another land. All right, so next we have showcase treatment. Is what they're going to call the magnified frame. Each depicting a story spotlight moment, whatever that means. So with the deuce, you can kind of see this is a magnifying glass, little circle here, circle, magnifying glass, demand answers, fanatical strength. Not gonna lie, these cards are kind of neat. We see them in person, but I give you a better idea. But I do like them. I don't immediately hate them. I do like the magnifying glass idea. So kudos for being on point with story. But we'll have to see if these cards actually hold any value, since all they're really showing here are commons, and I really get tired of having alternate art commons and uncommons. Like, just please don't. There's already too much to collect, and this makes me just not want to collect more. All right, next we have different variants of guild leaders, i.e. Aurelia, the law above. We have this art, and we also have this art for Rakdos. So there's another alternate art version. So every card's going to have 2 versions, apparently. God help us. But whatever. And, of course, we're going to have serialized cards. This one says 250, so instead of 500, it's only going to be out of 250, so that's going to be pretty nice. It will make the cards harder to get. Will it be more valuable? We'll have to wait and see how it all plays out. So, yeah. And then we also have a showcase dossier treatment. Gives us the rundown on some key cards in the set. Also, so here's another treatment. These are for rares, apparently, in Mythics. I do like these, how it's kind of a booklet, with kind of a clip on it, and you kind of gives you the dossier of the case, we'll say. All these look really good. I think they'll be really cool in foil. But again, I really wish they would just stop making so many alternates. It makes you not want to collect cards because there's no point to collecting if you can't actually collect all of them without spending god awful amounts of money. And then finally, one thing I do think is neat, if you take a look at this here, we have the invisible ink dossiers where you can see if you hold the card to certain lights, you can see here where it says legendary, but of course, vigilance, handsome, genius, little thing, arts. Uh, the invisible ink versions of the dossier cards can be found in collector boosters only, apparently, and look closely at the right angles to get more information on the ongoing investigation. So I think this is a cool idea. I do like this. But again, so many different cards to try to collect is just really starting to wear on me. I'm pretty sure you guys as well. All right, next, so we have examples of play boosters. For some reason here, it's on here twice. Don't know why. But anyway, so be the first set to have play boosters. The two examples of play boosters will look like were previewed. The first shows a pretty average pack. The second shows a best case scenario pack. So this one, 4 to 6 commons in the first 6 slots. Slot 7 is list or common. Slot 8 through 10 are uncommons. Slot 11s are rare or mythic. Basic land in 12. Non-foil wild card in 13. Foil wild card in 14. And then the add or token. So that's kind of the average pack of what it looked like. No commons, common, uncommons, maybe a mythic. Land, non-foil common, foil common. Down here, best case scenario, 6 commons, a list card, just a mythic, uncommons, rare, basic land, that's the full art, dossier, non-wild card, alternate art, wild card, foil, and then an actual token or an art card, I guess, here. Very interesting. I can't wait to see how it all plays out. It's going to be interesting indeed. So, also notice here, it notices that everything says there could be booster fun in that slot. And if we remember up here, booster fun. Oh, hang on. Booster fun is this, the impossible land. So maybe you can get extra lands in there. We'll have to wait and see. And then finally, we have Clue Ravnica Edition. So it's going to come out on February 23rd. Multiplayer experience, yada, yada, yada. You can open packs, battle it out, try to solve the murder with characters. Now, it's not going to be just Clue. It's going to be Magic Clue. So it's going to be Magic enhanced. For example, here you have Senator Peacock, 2 blue and 3 for a 3/4. Artifacts you control are clues in addition to their other types, and have sacrifice draw a card. Whenever you sacrifice a clue target, creature can't be blocked this turn. Very interesting. Here we have the picture of the lead pipe. 1 black, equip creature gets +2/+0. Whenever it dies, opponent loses 1 life. You can sacrifice the lead pipe to draw a card. Equips for 2. We have the dining room. Enters the battlefield taps for a red or green. You can tap for it to investigate. And then we have steam vents. So, Iconic Shocklands will not be in the main set of Murders at Karlov Manor. Clue-themed Shocklands will come as box toppers in the Clue edition. So that's going to be interesting. Because even though the Iconic Shocklands will not be in the main set of Murders at Karlov Manor, so that tells me that the Steam Vents will not be in the main set, but they will be in a different set. There'll be rooms and clue, weapons, so forth. Also here, if you look, it says 8 ready to play, marked boosters, full of fun. It's going to be interesting to get a better look at this. I do find it weird that it states here that Shocklands will not be in the main set. Since they've stated that they will be alternate art, serialized, yada, yada, yada. Will they only be in collectors? We'll have to wait and see. But at the same time, what does that really mean? A lot of people are upset because the Clue lands are going, or the Shocklands are going to be in the Clue box set, but if they're not in the main set, what does that mean? Very interesting as we stumble our way through Karlov Manor here. But we do know that even though they are in this set, they won't be in Karlov Mana. They will be in the remastered set for Ravnica, which people were okay with, where they're going to be serialized and what have you in the master set. It makes me wonder here if this is just a one-time thing inside the clue set. If it is, that's fine. It's not going to change a whole lot, but at the same time, these Shocklands have been printed so much that they're basically almost worthless, and I'm not even sure that putting this into the clue set is going to be a real incentive for people to buy it. Also, the clue set's going for about $70 currently. I think that's way too high. I think if you wait for a while, the clue set's going to eventually come down to $30-40 because people aren't going to buy these like crazy, and anybody who does is a little weird. Because all the cards that are going to be in here are going to be the same. So like anything that Wizards has ever sold like this, i.e. Jumpstart boosters, Game Night boosters, what have you, the cards hold no value almost immediately because it's so easy to get them. Because once you buy them, you just always get them. So word to the wise there, I would definitely stay away from this product until I see a price drop. So there you have it, guys. Thanks a lot for listening. I do appreciate it. Kind of a little longer rant today. Till next time, be kind. And as always, I hope to see you across from the game table.